Hi, everybody. So I am going to do a quick little review on adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so in your packet, that was the first assignment, was this page of adding and subtracting fractions. So we're going to look at a few of these and review them. So number 5 is the first one I'll go over and show, and that is 3/4 plus 1/12. The key thing with adding and subtracting fractions is the need to have a common denominator. So you cannot add and subtract fractions without a common denominator. So common denominators is the key piece for adding and subtracting fractions. Okay? So if we look at our denominators, right now I've got a 4 and a 12, so I need it to be the same exact number. And to do that, you look for a common multiple. What numbers or number do both of them go into? Well, 4 goes into 12, so I can make 12 my common denominator. So I'm going to take 3/4 and I need to convert it into something over 12. To do that, it's needing to multiply by what we call the giant one. I don't know if you remember that, but the giant one. What number, when divided by itself, would multiply the denominator to get you the 12? So we know that if I multiply 4 times 3, I get 12. So I need to multiply by 3 over 3, and that's that giant one. So that giant one now is 3 over 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I take 3/4 and I convert it to 9/12. Now I have that common denominator. So this now becomes 9/12 plus 1/12. So all I did was change the 3/4 to 9/12, an equivalent fraction with the common denominators. Now I can add them, and in order to add fractions, as long as the denominator stays the same, we can do that, and we keep the denominator the same when we add fractions, and all we do is add the pieces, and that's the numerator. So the denominator doesn't change, the numerator adds, and I get 10. So 10 over 12 is the correct answer. If we want to simplify, and I don't want to use that word reduce, remember, I'm not making it smaller, simplify would be to take and in this case, divide out a giant one. So I want to find a giant one that this divides out of. So we have, what can I divide the top and bottom by? That is the same factor. So I'm going to divide it by 2 over 2. Right? So you divide the top and divide the bottom evenly, and you get 5 over 6. That is simplifying, is taking and dividing by that giant one, which is really, again, not changing the size, not changing the value, just simplifying it. In this case, to be 5 over 6. Oops. 5 over 6. There we go. All right. Thank you. Next video will show you. Actually, I'll continue this video, and I'm going to do one more addition problem because I realize the addition problems that have, let's do number 9, the mixed numbers. So if we look at number 9, it's 3 and 2/5, and that's adding to 9 and 1/10. Now, with mixed numbers, there's actually a few ways to do mixed number addition. You can actually add the mixed numbers and the fractions separately. So really, when you look at this 3 and 2/5, that really just means 3 plus 2/5. 3 and 2/5, a mixed number, is really just the whole number plus a fraction piece. And this 9 and 1/10 means 9 plus 1/10. It really is just, again, the whole number plus the fraction piece. So when you look at it that way, you're saying that 3 plus 2/5 plus 9 plus 1/10. And we know that addition is commutative and associative. So I can move around, and really I can add. What I can do is add the whole numbers. separately from the fractions. So the whole numbers in this case would be 3 plus 9 is 12. And the fractions now, I have 2/5 plus 1/10. And again, here we are in another situation where I need a common denominator to add those. So I'm going to go ahead and add these fractions by getting common denominator. That 2/5 needs to convert to have a denominator of 10 because I already have a 1/10 and 5 goes into 10. So if I'm going to multiply this by the giant 1, what would be that giant 1? In this case, it would be multiplying by 2 over 2 because 5 times 2 is 10. So that's what I want to get. I need to have that 10 on the bottom. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So now my fractions, okay, now my fractions here are 4/10 instead of 2/5 plus the 1/10 because I'm still adding that one fraction, which is going to give me 5/10. So I still have up here have my whole number 12. So 12 plus the two fractions, my two fractions follow this down here, added to be 5/10. 5/10 though, I can simplify that, right? I can reduce it by dividing out a giant 1, a common factor of the same, right? Do you see my giant 1 here, 5 over 5? So I'm dividing out a 1, which only just simplifies it, does not reduce it, does not make it smaller. So now I've got 1/2 as that fraction. So my final answer is this 12, the whole number, and the fraction piece, 1/2. 12 and 1/2 is what that final answer becomes. Okay? All right. That was adding fractions. Next video, I'll show you subtracting fractions.